Alright. Let's get into it. Oh. Oh, excuse me. In the cathedral devoid of people, a figure could be seen still staring up at the heavens. Its chest pierced with a long red sword, which pinned it in place to the ground. The figure of Battler. Ironically, it looked just like what he had done to Pt.2, with blue wedges in the 4th game. Battler had died quite some time ago. No, in this place the concept of death means nothing, except that one has stopped thinking. Therefore, in a sense, Battler was not dead. After being defeated in a fight over the truth and surrendering, he no longer had the strength to think of a way to resist. He's not getting that blade back. That's what made him dead. Dolinor's massive longsword, which had been left in place of a tombstone, fastened Battler to the spot, even after his death. He's just kind of chilling out there. This is being lit by a faint light seeping out of a high skylight. Quiet footsteps rang out across the still cathedral. From the darkness behind a pillar, a woman slowly stepped forward. It was Beatrice. Just like they had been the whole time in the Golden Land. Her eyes had no light in them, and were still muddied over with gray. This person was once unable to even drink black tea to her satisfaction by her own will. But though it was slow, and though there was no life in her eyes... Yeah, no, this is the real Pt.2, I figured it was. She was surprisingly walking. Then with slow, deliberate steps, she reached Battler, who is still dead and pierced. Then, she slowly touched Battler. She tugged on his sleeve. However, Battler showed no reaction. When she realized that it wasn't sleep, but death, the witch with the hopeless gaze let her head hang even lower. Then she quietly whispered, "Why'd you have to go and die, you liar?" Pt.2 softly touched Battler. Then she pressed her forehead against Battler's chest. There was no longer any heartbeat. It wasn't just because he had surrendered. It was because the witches had chased him from the game board. So from now on, Battler would never return. So from now on, the Golden Witch Beatrice had lost her reason to exist.
Arigatou, Usatsuki. Sayonara. そして、ごめんね。
Game over. Go home, everybody. Then the Golden Witch completed her task and scattered as a spray of gold. In the Golden Land, the gray rain gently continued to fall. There was a faint aroma of good black tea. Beto stared blankly at the surface of the tea. There was Virgilia, continuing her knitting, along with me and Dolanor, talking to each other. This is a recollection. A recollection of Battler's memory, which Dolanor's sword must have given him as it pierced him. A recollection of that time Dolanor had come to visit the tea party in the Golden Land. Dolanor, I thought she was a ruthless killer doll without a heart. But maybe she actually is pretty approachable. Till she stabs you. Though of course neither of us will show any mercy when fighting over the game board. For a while, we gazed at the rain-drenched rose garden as we quietly enjoyed our tea.
しかし、恐ろしいもんだな。お前の戦い方は。ノックス実会だったっけか?
I heard a sound. Let's take a look. Nox's Decalogue. Feel free to read. So I'm not going to read all that. The debate over the interpretation of these laws continues to this very day, and it has become a source of countless unfair controversies. While fundamentalists call any infringement upon these commandments heresy, revisionists point out that many canonized geniuses have violated these rules.
Mystery のお約束ってやつだろ?
はい。我が父が考案した戒律です。
Fifth rule not used.
隠し扉は存在してはならない。ノックス第3条だっけか? だから探偵は隠し扉を探す必要さえないわけだ。なかなかの暴論だな。
Bernkastel said it herself. She said that because they were forbidden by Nox's third. Even searching for hidden doors was a waste of time. I'd like to counter that by saying it isn't so uncommon for a rich family mansion to have a hidden door or two built into it. But apparently, that sort of rule works perfectly well in the mystery genre. By the way, there exist many wonderful mysteries in which hidden doors appear, and where hidden doors are the theme. Of course, this is limited to novels which have the premise that hidden doors exist. If that premise doesn't exist, hidden doors must not exist. So because that premise doesn't exist, there's no need to search for hidden doors. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand why you guys keep saying the Chinaman thing. Nox is like, no. You can't have people that you can't tell the difference between from other countries. I think that's probably the essence of a ridiculous argument. I get the feeling that the detective trying to expose the truth, and the illusion trying to confuse it with a mixture of truth and lies, are getting blended together, leading to a bizarre form of argument similar to a devil's proof. Making a closed-room murder seem to be accomplished by a witch with magic as fantasy. Exposing that it was a human's crime done with tricks as anti-fantasy. considering all possibilities to expose those tricks as mystery. But it is also mystery to claim that possibilities with no hints supporting them are unworthy of investigation. Let's say a hidden door is hidden in a way that there would be no clues. Would claiming that a hidden door therefore exists, even though a detective couldn't find it, be anti-mystery? That's enough of that. This argument is far too far of a discretion from the riddles I'm actually supposed to be solving. My fight is very simple. I'm only fighting to explain how it was possible for a human to carry out these crimes, which were supposedly carried out by a witch. And then the last game, I threw that one out the window. This whole discussion about mystery and anti doesn't serve any purpose. That's why I didn't have any particular interest regarding these rules, known as the Nox Decalogue.
Nox はお嫌いですか?
Yeah, I don't really, yeah.
苦手だな。隠し扉の存在を調べもせずに全否定可能なんて。
I'm just kind of waiting.
おかしいぞ。
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for stuff to make sense.
悪魔の証明並みにうさんくせえな。ファンタジーの対極のはずなのに、なぜか同じ論法になっちまってる気がするぜ。言い過ぎだ。お前の親父が作ったんだもんな。
お気になさらずに、戯れに過ぎないとおっしゃる方もいらっしゃいますので。
バトラ君には実戒はかなり傲慢なものに感じられるのでしょう。
正直なところを言えばな。隠し扉は存在してはいけないから調べる必要さえないなんて。頭のネジが落ちてないかどうか一緒に床を探してやるところだぜ。
ではバトラー、その第3条をなかったことにしましょう。そうなったら密室ミステリーはどうなるでしょうか。
What if Nox's third, hidden doors are forbidden, didn't exist?
つまり密室トリックのオチに隠し扉が OK になるってことか。
手がかりや伏線のある隠し扉ではありません。隠しなのですから無論探偵にも発見できない隠し扉です。
バトラ君はよく悪魔の証明により発見できない X の存在を仮定して戦いますね。つまりはそういうことですよ。
最悪だな。密室ミステリーが読み物として破綻しちまう。
By becoming not worth the time, it would cease to exist. No one would want to try solving the riddle from the beginning, if they knew the answer might just be an unforeseeable hidden door.
せめて隠し扉はありませんと保証してもらってからじゃないと推理する気も起きない。なるほど。ノックス第3条は必要だな。それがなけりゃ密室ミステリーは読み物にもなりゃしねえ。
推理する気も起きないとはつまりどういうことですか。
つまり読む気もしねえってことだな。
そういうことです。人間は推理可能だという保証を得なければ思考さえできないか弱い生き物なのです。
推理可能、すなわち頑張れば解けますよという励ましが必要なのです。
That might be true. It's the same with exercising. If you're told to run around the campus 10 times, you can tough it out. However, if you don't know how many times you're supposed to run around it, you'd probably get tired out before you made it around 3 times. The same thing goes for thinking and reasoning. Humans view a problem differently depending on whether or not it's guaranteed to be solvable.
推理小説で探偵が犯人が分かったと宣言するシーンがあるでしょ。あれはつまりそこまでの文章で手がかりは全て記したから。読者諸君、どうぞ推理をしてくださいという合図なのですよ。
へえ、単なるお約束のセリフかと思ってたが、そんな意味があったんだな。
意地悪に言うと、探偵がそう宣言しない限り、どんなにミステリーを愛する推理自慢の読者であっても推理をする気力は生じないということです。
過去のゲームにおけるあなたもそうではありませんでしたか？
Now that I hear it, maybe that really was the case. Maybe my fight against Beto really began in the second game. At first, I didn't seriously try to tackle the closed room riddles Beto threw at me. After all, I knew nothing except that people had died in a closed room, and the windows and doors were all locked from the inside. I had basically no hints. So I refused to argue on the grounds that I couldn't fight, because the lack of clues made reasoning impossible. After that, Beto sneered at me, didn't she? Asking whether I would repeat that over and over forever, in an endless repetition of moves. At that time, Beto said this.
貴様ら無能どもがいつも嘆いてみせる思考停止の理由、情報不足。そしてそれに対し情報を与えると、今度はその情報の真偽を疑う根拠否定。便利よな。無能を棚上げする実に小気味よい言葉よ。
Then she said she'd give me certain information that couldn't be denied, and created the rule called the Red Truth. Once we reached that point, the curtain finally rose on my battle with Beto.
俺はベアトに、この物語は挑めば解けるという保証をもらって、初めて同じ土俵に上がったというわけか。
ベアトリーチェ、不思議な方です。謎こそが魔女の住まう狭間なのに、自らその謎を暴くことのできる赤き真実をあなたに与え始めたのですね。
You could say that the red truth is a hint Beto gives me, so that I can compete in this war of reasoning. Like candy. Like candy? Because I've been given hints. It's like she's saying, try and solve it. It can be solved. An enigma, which is guaranteed to be solvable, can't be called a true enigma.
これベアト自身が自分は本当は魔女じゃないって。
おやおや、確かにそうなりますね。本当におかしな子です。
Beto gave no answer. With gray eyes, she did nothing but blankly gaze at the steam rising from her black tea.
我が父は思考する力に杖を与えるために実戒を生み出したのです。決して物事を傲慢に決めつけるためではありません。
思考する力に杖。
そうです。ノックス第8条、提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。これは手がかりなしに当て推理で推理をしてはいけないという意味だけではありません。
逆に言えば、出題者は解決のための手がかりを必ず提示しなければならないということです。
つまり実戒に従うなら 全ての謎には必ずヒントがあり、よって
Whoops.
必ず解決は可能だと保証されていること。
Battler, I'm sorry. I skipped your words again. It's guaranteed that finding a solution is possible. If you can believe that it's solvable, you start feeling the desire to have a go at those riddles. If you're capable of believing that hints do exist, you get fired up about rereading the story to search for them.
確かに推理しようとする人間にとって勇気を与える力はあるかもしれないな。
ノックス実会はミステリーの出題者に課す制限と思われがちですが、読み手にとっても大切なものなのです。実会を杖とすることで、私たちは推理する勇気と必ず隠されているに違いない手がかりを求めて、何度も物語を読み返す気力を授かるのです。
硬くて開かないジャム瓶の蓋みたいだな。母さんがよく言ってたぜ。開かないと思ってるといくら頑張っても開かないって。スポーツにもそういうのあるよな。必ず自分は成し遂げられるという強いイメージがあるのとないのでは記録に大きく差が出るというし。
In that case, the Nox Decalogue isn't really a set of arrogant and strict regulations, or restrictions. You can also see it as a way to encourage readers who are trying to solve the mystery. By telling them to give it their all, since it's definitely solvable.
面白い解釈だ。しかし世の中の推理小説すべてが必ず実戒を守ってるわけでもないと聞いたぜ。そういう作品にぶち当たった時騙されたってことにはならないのかよ。
実戒もまた解釈の一つに過ぎず、すべてのミステリーに適用できるものではありません。
I have no idea what my theory on who the culprit is. No, I have none. It was obviously goaded, but that's about it.
父の原理主義者の方々は実戒を破った作品を異端と呼んで激しく糾弾される方もいらっしゃるようですが。
Yeah, honestly, truthfully, yeah. My best guess is Rosa, but it doesn't explain everything. And I'm not really inclined to think too much more on it until I get some more details that I can work with. Or the hobo in the woods. I still like him, even though they kind of denied his existence and all. There's no end of arguments like this in the mystery world. Was this or that famous detective novel really a fair mystery? In other words, one that followed Nox's Decalogue. Oh, I know, but see, I've already said this before, but I don't like I'm not usually good with these kind of stories and figuring these kind of things out, I should say. So I think I'm gonna have to the game's gonna have to give me more before I really figure out anything more. In fact, in mystery discussions, arguments like these sometimes become more heated than talk about the actual tricks.
そりゃ糾弾したくもなるだろうな。実戒に従い解けると信じて挑んで、実は解けるようにできてませんでしたってオチだったらさぞや悔しくて仕方ないだろうぜ。
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's kind of flying over my head a little bit. I'm trying to pay attention, but it's a bit long-winded. That's right. When fighting with the Decalogue, there's just one thing you want guaranteed from the beginning. In other words, you want to guarantee that this detective novel will adhere to the Decalogue. If a work labels itself as an orthodox mystery, then you have nothing to worry about. However, the mystery genre contains many unorthodox subgenres within it. Does that mean that trying to use reasoning in an unorthodox detective novel is a complete waste of time?
それはそれで傲慢な気もするな。
はい。私も父の実戒をそのような傲慢の武器にされるのは非常に悲しいことです。
お前は実戒を武器にさっきベアトと戦ったわけだが、それはつまりこのベアトのゲームの世界がノックス実戒にのっとっているという証なのか。
When I asked that, there was a strange silence. Virgilia, Delanor, and of course Beto all remained silent for a while, almost as though my question had touched at the core of something.
それは私の口からは言えません。
どうして？
これはこの子の作ったゲームです。あなたと勝敗を決めるためのゲーム。この子はそれをミステリーとファンタジーの対決のように呼んでいました。しかし残念ながら本格推理とは一言も言っていません。すなわち実戒にのっとっているという保証はないということです。
しかし同時にミス・ベアトリーチェはあなたとの勝負のゲームだともおっしゃっています。それはすなわちあなたにも勝利する余地があるということ。
すなわち推理は可能だってそう言いたいのか。
この子に言わせればおそらく推理は可能となるのでしょう。しかしこの子とバトラ君が送り手と受け手の関係であるように2人は異なる存在です。ベアトにとって推理可能なつもりで出題したものがあなたにとっても推理可能なものなのかは別の問題です。
For example, let's say we propose a simple riddle that any Japanese person would know. However, if the person we're telling this riddle is a foreigner with a Japanese English dictionary in their hand, it might be almost impossible to solve. In other words, it's possible to have a one-sided solvable problem, which might be easy for the questioner, but extremely difficult for the person trying to solve it. By the way, do you know of the foreign riddle, why do dragons sleep all day? The answer is, because they fight knights. Hey. It's a riddle from the English realm, so it might be a little tough for a Japanese person.
だからこそ私はこの物語がバトラ君に絶対に解けるものだと約束することができません。しかしこれだけは約束できます。赤き真実でそれを保証します。
なんだ。
ベアトはあなたに解いてほしいと願って解けるようにこのゲームをこの物語の謎を生み出しました。それだけは私が赤き真実で保証します。
It was the one guarantee that all those who try to use reasoning desire.
その答えが我が父の実戒にのっとり導き出せるものかは分かりません。しかしバトラが悩み苦しみ推理の指針を求めるときにもしも思い出したなら 我が実会も試してみてください。再び挑む勇気と、ひょっとすると何か新しい発見を与えてくれるかもしれません。
ありがとうよ。心底行き詰まったらお前の戦い方も参考にしてみるぜ。っていいのかよ、敵に塩を送っちまって。
お気になされずに、手土産も持たずに訪れた茶会です。茶花の代わりとなったなら幸いです。それに私と再び相まみえたなら、そんな悠長なことを言っている暇はおそらくないでしょうから。
Nox's Decalogue and Virgilia's Red Truth.
ベアトは俺に解いてほしいと願って解けるようにこのゲームの謎を生み出した。
In other words, Pt.2 wants me to be capable of solving it. Isn't that proof that reasoning is possible? Of course that's from Pt.2's point of view. And it doesn't necessarily mean that reasoning is possible for me. Compared to before now, when I didn't even know whether reasoning was possible or impossible, that one line might give me a great deal of courage. At least it has the power to silence any negative thoughts about it, just being useless anyway.
推理できると先に相手に証明させなくては推理をしない。まるで奥手な若者の恋愛のようですね。
恋愛？
ええ、自分のことを愛してくれると相手が先に証明しない限り、自分も相手を愛したくないでしょ。
Both boys and girls want to hear someone else say they love them first. That's their dream. If they're in love, they don't want to love the other person until they're sure this person loves them back. After all, there's nothing as painful as a one-sided love, and the scars of the heart that leaves behind last a long time. Because they are afraid of that pain. They want proof that the other person loves them first more than anything else.
なるほど。推理小説における作家と読者の関係を面白く表現しています。
Yes. Maybe you could liken detective novels to that. Both the writer and the reader. Oh gosh, the chat's going by very fast. First want the other party to say that they will solve it, that it can be solved. Until the writer is assured that the reader will certainly have a go at the riddle if they propose it. They don't want to write their story. The same goes for the readers. Until they are assured that they will certainly be able to solve the riddle if they try, they don't want to read the story. Because they don't want to write what they consider a masterpiece, and be hurt when no one reads it. Because they don't want to reason about what they consider a masterpiece, and be hurt when they realize that it was all useless.
その理論によると、まさに奥手な小学生中学生の恋愛だな。気があるくせに打ち明ける勇気もなく、相手の告白を待ってもじもじしたまま何の進展もなく、ひと夏が終わる。いやいや、他の男とくっついちまうことだってあるぜ。俺の初恋もそんな感じだったさ。
Along with these one-sided feelings they can't express, they lament the passage of a summer which will never come again, and the days of their youth end. The writer who wouldn't write until he gained the support of readers goes for all eternity without releasing his maiden work. The reader who waited for the writer's rise to fame goes their whole life without knowing the joy of the mystery genre.
バトラ君、その卵が先か鶏が先かという奥手な恋愛はどの段階にまで進んだら相思相愛の関係になるのですか？
それは積み重ねだろうな。まず友達関係から始めてコミュニケーションを増やし、こいつはきっと俺のことが好きで俺もこいつのことが好きだと疑えなくなった段階を2人が共有できたところで、まあ多分自然と恋人関係に進めるんじゃないかと。唐突な告白で始まった関係は割と別れることも多いが、実は互いに告白したことがなく気づいたらずっと一緒にいたって連中の方が案外付き合いは長いってのが俺の今日までの印象だ。
つまり互いが相手を信じる信頼関係が生まれたらということですね。
意外だぜ。ミステリーってのは作家と読者のバトルだと思ってたんだが、実はそうじゃないのか。
ええ、互いが信頼し合った上でしか成立しない愛ある関係なのですよ。
じゃあこいつと俺の関係も殺し合いじゃなくて愛ある関係だっていうのかよ。
意地悪をし合う小学生同士の関係程度にしか見えませんがね。
Virgilia joked at us in a middle-aged woman sort of way. Still, though I'm not expecting friendship or a trusting relationship, I can accept her as a rival. Pt.2 is fighting at full force, trying to make me acknowledge that she's a witch. So I'll respond to that, and go all out trying to deny that witches exist.
ミス・ベアトが正面から全力であなたにぶつかっているとどうしてあなたは言い切れるのですか？
見てりゃわかるだろ。
It's all about the pachinko machines.
あなたに全力で正面からぶつかっていると彼女が赤き真実で宣言したわけではありません。なのにあなたはそれを疑わないわけですか？赤き真実以外は何も信じないとおっしゃったあなたがです。
バトラ君の言うところのコミュニケーションが増え互いの関係が疑えなくなった段階というものに違いないですね。
Virgilia and Dolanor giggled together. One guy, multiple women. The topic is love. Wait a sec. Isn't this the worst formation for getting made fun of? When I tried to change the subject and bring back a proper mood for a tea party in the rainy Goldenland by clumsily searching for a more notable subject, Virgilia saw right through me and laughed at me. Even amidst this, Pt.2 kept looking downwards with those gray eyes, staring into her black tea. Yeah, that's right. Virgilia and Dolanor have given me so many hints, and yet I barely thought about it at all. By now, it's all too late. Let me think. Now that everything is too late already, and I have an endless amount of time on my hands, let me think. One more time. Let me think about the red truth Virgilia gave me. And the crutch of the Decalogue that Dolinar lent me. With the red truth, Virgilia guaranteed that, at the very least, Beto left enough room in this tale for me to achieve victory. That red truth guarantee will once again give me the power to start my heart beating. And there's the crutch of the Decalogue, which Dolinar lent me. Dolinar herself warned me in the beginning that the Decalogue isn't so almighty that it can solve all riddles. However, she had said something about how it could be used as a method to to take on riddles. Let me try it. Even though there's no guarantee that this tale is mystery or fantasy, let me believe that I'll definitely be able to solve it. That it is a solvable tale, a mystery, and let me take it on one last time. When I came to, I was suddenly in that strange tea room where I had often argued furiously with Beto from across the table. Of course, Beto was nowhere to be found. It was just me, isolated and alone. That's alright. Even so, I won't stop thinking. Okay then. What were Nox's commandments again? I'm sure Dolinar explained most of them when slamming me with them. Of course, even I recall them vaguely. What was the first one again?
謹んで申し上げる。ノックス第1条。犯人は物語当初の登場人物以外を禁ず。
When I muttered about what the first one was, as if answering my question, Dolinar's subordinate appeared. Without bothering with an unnecessary hello, she told me nothing more or less than what I wanted to know.
そうだったな。第一条。犯人は物語の最初から登場している人物でなければならない。
In other words, does that mean the culprit must have appeared already? By the first game. True, that is the most basic of basics in the mystery genre. A given. A given? Have I really kept that as a basic assumption? With each new game, the number of people in this tale keeps increasing. That violates the closed circle rule. By that point, everything gets screwed up. Did I give up on the inside? Thinking that the true culprit or mastermind must not have shown up yet, and that reasoning was therefore useless. If I read this tale as a fantasy, new characters keep showing up. To the point where even having demon kings or gods or creators appear wouldn't be strange at all. Even if the true mastermind first appears in one of the last episodes, I'd have to accept it. However, if I read it as a mystery and stick with that conviction, then there's no need to worry at all about anyone who shows up later. Because Nox's first clearly states that it's impossible for the culprit to be anyone who appears later on in the story. Of course, there's also what both Dolinar and Virgilia said. There's no guarantee that this tale follows the rules of the Decalogue. So of course I can't deny the possibility that the culprit first appeared in the second game or later. However, this is one way of thinking. This time, I'll forget about the devil's proof completely and try to borrow the power of the Decalogue in my thinking. After all, I've already said myself that I won't be able to reach the truth without a multi-angled outlook.
なら、何度も繰り返されたこのゲームの犯人は全て18人の中の誰かだってことになる。19人目の幻想なんて初めから必要ない。
Even the first of Nox's commandments denies the existence of an unknown person known as the Witch from the very start. If I had followed that in the truest sense, I might have not suffered so miserably in the second game.
ノックスの第2条。
謹んで申し上げたてまつる。ノックス第2条。探偵方法に超自然能力の使用を禁ず。
Delanor's other subordinate appeared without a sound, and gave me an answer to my question. That's right. A detective can't go around using magic.
そして、これがフェアな戦いであるならば、探偵と同様に、犯人もまた魔法を使ってはならないということだよな。
謹んで申し上げる。解釈は自由と知りたまえ。
だよな。
The interpretation's up to you, that's great.
俺の自由に解釈させてもらうぜ。
If this game is a battle between me and Beto, then because this tale is solvable, no elements will appear which make it impossible to solve. In other words, things like magic mustn't appear. When they do appear, I shouldn't suspect that the mystery element is breaking down, but I should instead question why it was shown, and suspect the witnesses and observers. That's right. That was Beto's greatest weapon in the second game. Depictions of magic, which couldn't exist in a mystery. By showing me that, she forced me to think that this tale wasn't a mystery. And therefore, that reasoning was impossible, and I surrendered. However, if I had believed unshakably that it was a mystery, it would have been completely obvious to doubt the witnesses who claimed to have seen it. Also, at the end of the first game, it was revealed that this tale was passed on to people in the future by that message bottle. Almost forgot about that. Someone had written about this crime, this tale. In other words, this tale is all part of a world which includes the personal opinions of an observer. Namely, the person who wrote that message in a bottle. In other words, the observer isn't God. It's a human. Therefore, there's no guarantee that this description is truly impartial. By the end of the first game, it had already been made clear that we'd broken the constant premise of the mystery genre. That the story itself must be seen through the eyes of God. For that reason, it's possible to doubt even the observer, as well as the witnesses. If I could have doubted this much, then no matter how seemingly insolvable displays of magic appeared, I wouldn't have had to blindly accept them and give up. However, that begs the question, is it even possible to solve a tale written by an observer who isn't impartial? If I get obsessed with this, all of my reasoning will end here. However, I had to believe that Beto is trying to fight me through this tale. Because it's a fight, that means I've been given a chance of winning. By giving me that, doesn't that mean that reasoning is possible? This part is tough. Unless I believe that the cruel witch took on the risk of losing to try and have a fair fight with me, I can't get past this part. Just like Virgilia said, it's just like love. If I can't believe that Pt.2 is fighting me head on with everything she's got, I won't be able to reason any further than this. Sure, I'll acknowledge it. Unless we acknowledge that we love each other, we won't be able to get any further. When Virgilia ran out of patience with the two of us, shy and incapable as we were of acknowledging that out loud, she gave me that red truth instead. That was the red truth saying Pt.2 wanted me to solve it, so she made the riddles of this game solvable. What? It's like Sato-san in Class A says he likes you. Like hearing a love confession via a friend. I really am pitiful. Reasoning is love. If we don't love each other, the reasoning won't start. In that case, how can we say that we love each other? If you think you can solve it, just you try. You're incompetent. You can't solve it. Yeah, according to George Anarchy, you call that sort of thing tsundora. Huh, that brutal witch is finally starting to look a bit cute. If I meet her again, I want to try saying, "You're such a tsundora." If I meet her again, somewhere. Is that why it takes so long? Because we go over all the commandments like really slowly?
謹んで申し上げる。ノックス第8条。提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。
謹んで申し上げる。ノックス第6条。探偵方法に偶然と第6巻の使用を禁ず。
It must not be solved with clues that aren't presented. And it must not be solved by relying on accident. If this tale is made in a way that it can be solved, we can read this the opposite way. In other words, clues must be prepared so that the case can be solved. And it has to be made in a way that it can be solved without relying on an accident. If I can believe that Pt.2 is challenging me to a fair game where reasoning is possible, I can be sure of that. In other words, Pt.2 has already left me clues, hints, and messages in this tale. It isn't from the Decalogue, but Erica, or someone said this. There are 3 riddles to be exposed in a mystery. One is the whodunit. Who is the culprit? One is the howdunit. How did they commit the crime? One is the whydunit. Why did they commit the crime? All of this means that clues related to these 3 riddles are already present inside this tale. No, strictly speaking, it's like this. Because she wanted me to solve these 3 riddles, Pt.2 scattered hints about. Though whether I'm capable of catching those or not is another matter. Even if you think a riddle you propose is easy, it might be difficult for the person trying to solve it. In that case, it's only natural that there will be a difference in how difficult it is for either person. Therefore, as Pt.2 goes through each successive game, she watches me closely. Yeah, the whydunit is kind of hard to, like, prove with physical evidence. As Pt.2 goes through each successive game, she watches me closely and tweaks the game as needed to get a good arrangement. when Bito realized that I'd completely surrendered in the second game because it was too hard. She's secretly worried. If I surrendered and lost the will to fight, the game would no longer remain on an easy footing. Therefore, in order to make me regain my will to fight, from the third game onwards, she set things up in a way that made it easier for me. Therefore, in order to make me regain my will to fight, from the third game onwards, she set things up in a way that made it easier for me, giving me tips on how to fight and a few hints. Virgilia and Ronove obviously appeared so that they could help me. I remember that. Also, though we still had the usual crazy magic shows, she gave me the metaphor of the Brawn Tube trial, as well as tips on how to fight back. I finally understood how to fight, and most likely at the end of the fourth game, Bito managed to have the all-out showdown with me that she had probably wanted. Then Bito acknowledged that my abilities had become full-fledged, and entrusted me with her heart. Entrusting me with explaining this tale, didn't she? In that case, it was really dumb of me to boycott most of the fifth game, just because I was so disgusted with those two witches. It doesn't matter who the game master is. All I need is to search for the truth in Bito's game. On the contrary, I should probably thank those two witches just a little for continuing the game in Bito's place, now that she's gone and left everything to me. Of course, I doubt those evil witches were trying to do anything of the sort. Culprit, crime, motive. The answers to those three ultimate riddles, the hints, must be scattered throughout the previously shown tales. It's probably a very faint light, like trying to find beads that have fallen onto a sandy beach. They're definitely there. However, they're so faint that unless I believe strongly, there's no way I'll be able to find them.
金家謹んで申し上げる。
なんだ。
物語を遡りたまえ。今の汝には真実のか弱き光を見逃さぬ目が与えられていると知れ。
今こそ物語。
推理可能とは信頼関係の先にあるものと知りたてまつれ。
ああ、知ってるぜ。
Okay. I'm only gonna say this once, because I don't want to bring it up again, but the reason, there's a couple of reasons I like doing streams. One of them is that it's a bit more of a laid-back experience. It's not as concise and, you know, in terms of what I do, as well edited as a regular video is. And to that extent, I don't mind people having fun just talking about things. So it's fine. Like, just chill. It's fine. The only thing I'm really worried about is spoilers. Beyond that, have fun, you know, have fun. Talk to each other. I think it's a fun experience for everyone just to be able to kind of gather together and talk about stuff, especially considering that there is a way to talk about spoilers in a relatively safe way. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm just saying. I don't really mind. I'm doing my best to keep from going on a tangent, but I don't really care if the chat does, if that makes sense, because I think it's all just, you know, it's fine. And I don't really want to bring it up again, but I've seen this about 3 or 4 times tonight, so just calm down. Alright.
いや、今ようやく気づいたかもしれない。
And skip some text there. It's something that has been repeated over and over again throughout the tale. Persistently so.
愛がなければ、真実は見えない。
Coming back to that again. Slowly, the tea room dissolved into darkness. Then, as though I was slowly sinking into a pitch-black sea, I passed through the crevice of the long journey I'd taken with Beto, and kept on falling and falling. It was a bizarre experience, like crossing over the boundary of sleep while still conscious. While the light rays bounce about, the several tales before became faint bubbles. No, were they small shining fragments? Yeah, what about the turn the chessboard around thing? That just, like, stopped being a thing forever ago. And were scattered like stars amidst a pitch black sky. I kept sinking on and on, into that sea. Oh god, I can't read that fast. The tales up until now, one after another. After another. Virgilius guided Dante to Mount Purgatory. I was about to say, Virgilius? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And brought him below the feet of the eternal lady who waited at the top, Beatrice. Therefore, the innermost depths lay not at the bottom, but at the peak of Mount Purgatory. The eternal lady had been waiting there for Dante the whole time. Oh, whoa! And then I knew! You knew. He knew! I don't know what he knows, but he knows it. I finally reached the truth. To the depths, no. To the peak of Mount Purgatory. Idiot. You really are an idiot. Baka. Oh boy, more lyrics. He woke from the sleep of death, and bit by bit, his sense of pain came back to him. On Battler's face, which still looked up at the heavens as he hung there, pierced by the longsword, a suffering and alive expression gradually returned. Battler noticed. The whole time, Beto had been snuggling up against him, sleeping. And when he held her, he knew that it was not Beto, but her crumbling remains. So when Battler just tried to hold that form as fragile as ash, just like a sandcastle made on a beach, which had been washed away by a small wave, it fell apart and lost its form. At Battler's feet lay nothing but the ragged remnants of Beto's dress, in a pile of ash. No, on top of that pile of ash, he could see something sparkling gold. It was the husk of a single gold butterfly, which had been torn to bits. And so Battler knew. I've definitely reached the truth. However, I wasn't able to do it while Beto still remained in this world.
ベアト、お前本当にバカだろ。俺はようやくこのふざけた謎の真相にお前のお望み通りにくじけずにとうとう最後までたどり着いたのに。なのにそれを待てずにくじけちまったんだよ。お前はあんなにも信じてたんだろう。俺が絶対に真実に至ってくれるって。ならどうしてそれを俺と一緒に信じて待てなかったんだよ。永遠の拷問を強いていたのはお前じゃない。俺だ。俺がお前に過酷な拷問を強いた。そしてお前は最後まで抗い俺に訴え続け、そして俺はようやく岩になってたどり着いたってのに、お前はもう待ってなくて手遅れになっちまったって。バカ野郎、どうしてお前が先にくじけちまうんだよ。
It's my fault. I forced her to endure this torture. In fact, she's been doing a wonderful job sticking through it for so long. Over and over and over again, you kept on protesting to me. And because I was so incompetent, it was as though I couldn't understand the truth.
バカ野郎、バカ野郎。お前の謎はさ、ひねりすぎなんだよ。どうしてもっと簡単に言えねえんだよ。バカ野郎。
His scream of pain filled the sad cathedral. The sad witch who wasn't able to let Battler know of the truth. The sad man who wasn't able to understand the witch's truth. Battler's howl of anger and sadness rang out for that pair. The clock hung in the cathedral showed that it was midnight on October 5th, 1986. Time was up. For everything. You're kidding me. Don't set something like a time limit on this difficult riddle you're so proud of.
いや、わかるぜ。それほどのわずかな奇跡の中にお前は祈ったんだよな。お前もじいさまと同じだったんだ。
You prayed for and bet on the power of a miracle. One so unlikely that it was totally impossible. Less likely than finding a bead you've dropped on a sandy beach. And that means I've now truly arrived at that miracle. However, your time didn't last long enough. If I had reached this point even a little sooner, if I could have seen that truth, even if it had been right before time was up, I might have been able to save you. But right now, I've been run through pathetically. I can't even hold what remains of you. As I attempted to pull the longsword out, I tried stretching out my arms and kicking my feet, struggling to at least touch her remains. But nothing worked.
くそー！しかしー！
At that time, I noticed a golden glint on the palm of my hand. It was a single wing from a gold butterfly. That small fragment of gold was the only piece of Beto that I was permitted to touch. I cried with all my strength, gripped that fragment, and pressed it against my head, apologizing. Why couldn't I reach the truth earlier? Then I pressed it to my chest, promising that even now, I would never again lose the truth. When I pressed my hand against my chest, the sword piercing my chest cut my wrist, and blood dribbled out. The blood spread through my fist, and it must have soaked that gold fragment with my red blood. It must have been the only way of telling her that I'd found the truth she had wanted me to know about. I clutched the wing of the gold butterfly with my freshly bleeding hand and pressed it against the red sword which pierced me. At this point, if Shirami, a battler, knows, and he understands, he's found this tale's everything. At that time, it seemed as though a faint golden light leaked out of the gaps in his clenched fist. The two witches had their backs turned, and Erika was laughing at Battler's corpse.
本当に無様ですね、バトラさん。あなたの愚かさを石像にして永遠に。
Oh, is he charging up? At that time, Battler's chest. No, the red longsword that pierced Battler began to sparkle gold from deep within his chest. That bright golden light began to change the red sword's color, turning it gold.
何事？バトラが何
？Battler coughed up blood and groaned. His consciousness came back. His will to live, his will to fight, came back. The red longsword which pierced Battler could no longer be described as such. By now, it had become a golden longsword. Then, slowly, it pulled itself out of Battler's chest. It finally pulled itself out of Battler and started dancing through the air. Then stood up in front of Battler's eyes as though it knew who its master was. Battler, crawling on the floor and moaning, grabbed the golden longsword. And though it looked painful, he slowly rose to his feet once again. Help, I'm dying!
手の込んだ演出ね。これラムダの隠しだな。
Well, it got more exciting.
その輝きってまさか。
Lambda stared wide-eyed at the bright golden glow in awe. When she noticed that Battler's resurrection wasn't part of a script Lambda had thought up, Byrne also frowned slightly.
悪いわね。最新は却下よ。シエスタ姉妹、その復活幻想を削除しなさい。了解であります。45-410発砲許可。
All he had to do was die. Congrats. But now he's all powered up. He's spent the last 3 episodes charging up his power meter. Someone say 999?
39だと。バカな。
The Chester sisters hesitated, unable to carry out Bern Castell's orders.
ラムダ、これはどういう茶番よ。完全に魔女幻想は打ち破られて、法廷は私の勝利に終わったはずよ。
悪いわね、ベル。もう少し付き合ってもらうわ。そうでしょ、後ろ宮バトラー。
ああ、待たせたな、エリカ。ベルン・カステル、今度は俺の真実の番だぜ。
再審請求を受理するわ。魔女集会の幻想法廷の閉廷は撤回される。
異議提出。すでに裁判は
Oh
結審
crap.
し、
Dang it. I
判
already
決
put
は
away
公
that
示され
link.
ている。
I was gonna do the objection thing. I didn't know it was gonna come up again. Dang it. Too late now.
却下。いかなる判決も新たな真実の前にはかすむ。
異議提出。バトラはプレイヤーを追放されただけでなく、魔女の地位を持たない。上告する資格を持たない。
異議却下。もうね、あるのよ、彼には。絶対の魔女ラムダデルタの名において認めるわ。後ろ宮バトラー、あなたを新たな黄金の魔女、
Oh, battle, you're gonna be a sparkly witch now.
いえ、無限の魔術師、
Oh.
後ろ宮バトラと認めるわ。
Okay, I guess he gets to be a sorcerer. That sounds less, sparkly. Now put on the dress.
なんですって。
Battle.
魔女の位を。
The rank of a witch, which she had desired for so long, had been granted to Battler so quickly. And on top of that, this wasn't anything temporary. This was an official, proper authorization by Lambda Delta. Erica couldn't accept it, and her face turned bright red. Suck it, Erica.
最後の最後まで楽しませてくれるわ。あの子のゲームは。いいわ、付き合ってあげる。エリカ、受けて立ちなさい。
It's your problem, Erica.
あなたが私と築き上げた赤き真実は完璧よ。夏日が犯人であるとする真実の構築は完璧だわ。絶対にバトラには崩せない。無論です、若主。何の心配もありません。それよりシエスタ姉妹、我が主は射殺を命じていますよ。いつになったら命令は実行されるんですか？
エラーコード39。領主照準には解除コードが必要です。だからあいつはやると言ったに。
領主？誰が？
What do you mean, territory lord? What is that?
このかけらの支配者は誰？私です。領主、まさかバトラが。はい、後ろ宮バトラはこのかけら
Oh man.
正当な領主と認定されているであります。
Suck it, Erica.
そうよ。まだわからないの？あの黄金の輝きの意味が。バトラはね、至ったのよ。すべての真実の最新王にね。だからバトラは今やこの世界の物語のゲームのすべてを理解している。それはつまりゲームの支配者の地位を得たということよ。それを信じたくないでしょ、ベル。
信じたくもない。いいわ、バトラが本当に全てを理解したのか試してあげるわ。エリカ。
残念ね、エリカ。せっか くこのかけらの領主に任命されたところだけれど、それを剥奪するわ。このかけらの新しい領主は後宮バトラよ。悔しい？ねえねえ、悔しい？せっかく領主になれたのにいきなり剥奪ってどんな気持ち？どんな気持ち？
バトラー！私の推理を否定できるものならしてみればいいでしょ。
I'd agree. I'm pretty happy with this turn of events overall myself.
そんなことは不可能。
All just on Lambda Delta's whims, really, but still, it's good.
私の構築した推理に隙はありません。
She just got that title lol, it lasted like 5 minutes.
夏日が犯人であることは否定不能。
俺は夏日おばさん以外が犯人である推理を構築できる。確かにお前の真実は否定不能かもしれない。ならば同時にお前の真実は俺の新しい真実も否定できない。
Wait, what did you just say? More salt than the bottom of a bag of pretzels. I like that a lot. Battler spoke with the red truth allowed him by his status as a sorcerer.
夏日以外が犯人で？どうやって？ドラノール、バトラさんの妄言に付き合ってあげてください。
Slowly, Dolanor stepped forward. In her hand was the red longsword of the Decalogue. She also had a blue short sword. In Battler's hand was a golden longsword. The two rivals once again. No, for the first time, they truly confronted each other. She's so excited.
待たせたな。
いいえ、あなたの帰りは私の予想より早かったです。
殺しなさい、ドラノール A ノックス。
Dolanor's form disappeared in an instant, as though her slow, dignified movements from before were only a lie. The curve drawn by the long sword of red truth burned itself into the retinas of those who saw it. Before anyone had enough time to follow that curve, he was already approaching Battler's chest. Well, that's fine. He's already gotten cut through. I don't see what else you're gonna do to him.
エリカ教の推理により第5のゲームは解決しました。
This track's called Future? Thank you.
この推理による真実を覆す新事実は存在しません。
他の解釈だ。異なる真実の提示が可能だ。異なる真実の並列により両者の真贋を問う。
In this closed-off world, it's possible for differing truths to exist at the same time. Furthermore, as long as multiple truths exist, it's impossible to claim that any of the truths are the single truth. In other words, even if I can't overturn Erica's reasoning, by questioning its credibility and conquering it, I can defeat it.
ベルンの推理は完璧よ。簡単には覆せない。でもね、ベルンの推理と互角の推理を提示できたなら戦いは氷結となる。すなわちいずれかの真実は打ち破られて否定されることがあり得る。
笑わせる脚本だわ。悪魔の脚本はやはりこうでなくっちゃ。
では問いましょう。夏日以外の誰が犯人という仮説ですか？
Battler's golden longsword drew both red and blue curves at will.
夏日おばさんの告白した 19年前の赤ん坊による復讐で構築可能だ。
Seems pretty powerful, Battler. This whole ability to do both at the same time.
ノックス第1犯人は物語当初の登場人物以外は禁ず。第5のゲームより登場した人物に犯人は名乗れません。
その19年前の赤ん坊は最初から俺たちの中にいるとしたら、例えばそれが俺だとしたら
You were the baby!
ノックス第8条提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。あなたが19年前の赤ん坊であることを示す伏線はあったのですか？
Oh, it's so
第4
cool.
のゲームにおける俺が母親アスムの息子でないとする赤き真実。第1のゲームおよび今回のゲームにおける親父の隠し事の気配。ゲームだ。俺の生まれに何か事情があることをはっきり明示している。
Battler proposed that he might be the baby from 19 years ago, and announced that he would reconstruct the crime with himself as the culprit. As Dolinar cautiously held her sword at the ready, she gauged the distance between them. Now that Battler had inherited the position of this world's territory lord, and attained the rank of Endless Sorcerer, his movements surpassed human understanding. By now, the physical distance between them probably counted for nothing, because their extremely agile battle was surpassing the point where the concept of distance made any difference.
まずは見事です。バトラー犯人説をお聞かせ願いましょう。
ああ、聞かせてやる。それでも説明がつくこと、夏日おばさんが犯人だと決めつけることはできないこと、俺が証明してやる。
ぐっとあなたが犯人というならいくつもの矛盾が生じます。その矛盾があなたのか弱い真実を刈り取る。この私、探偵にして真実の魔女フルドエリカが。
This time, Erica stepped forward. Oh, whoa, hey, when did that happen? In her hand there appeared a scythe like one a Grim Reaper might hold. A ruthless scythe for reaping everything that threatened her theory.
犯行時刻は24時からの1時間しかありえない。あなたはその1時間の間、屋敷の食堂にいます。よって犯行は不可能です。
死亡時刻が24時からの1時間の間と特定はされていない。よって犯行は24時から午前1時までの間でなくとも可能だ。
いとこ部屋の殺人に限定します。午前1時から事件発覚までいとこ部屋での犯行は不可能です。ドラノール、今です。
They got so excited.
第8提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。いとこ部屋で実際に犯行が行われたなら手がかりは提示されなくてはなりません。それが朝に室内の異常を監視していた探偵であるエリカ卿に与えられなかった以上犯行は不可能です。
事件発覚とは俺が悲鳴を上げて全員が集まった段階のこと。そこまでに殺すことが可能であってそれ以降に殺すことが可能だ。
Wait, are you saying him screaming and then immediately killing them as people came in to check on them? What a theory. Battler used a blue flash to deflect both of the red troops that Erica and Dolanor had flung at him. Erica's eyes went wide. After all, what he had said was completely absurd. At that time, they still hadn't been killed? Even though corpses with their necks sliced open were laying there. Screams while stabbing. Oh, that's exactly how I imagine it. I wouldn't put it past Battler.
なるほど。あの死者が蘇らされるみたいに見えるだろうな。ならこれはお前にとって魔法になるだろうぜ。ならばお前に一矢報いるのは俺じゃない。
ほざて、何度でも繰り返します。いとこ部屋の4人の死亡は赤き真実で宣告されている。そしてその遺体は大勢が確認しています。そして全ての死体は天使を誤らないとすでに赤き真実で宣言済みです。これでも食らいやがれ、死者ども。
Take that, dead people. Ronovi, what are you doing here?
その赤き真実が
Ronovi
何時の
came to
時
save
点
the
での
day.
ものか。お忘れですか。
The bro's back. The fierce shower of red was blocked by a magical barrier set up by Ronove, who suddenly appeared right in front of Battler. Now that Vito was gone, the demon shouldn't have been able to manifest himself in the real world. However, he exists here. Bronove's back, and calmly dealt with Erica's attack. I think you mean Bronove.
まあいいです。好都合です。探す手間が省けました。この場で捕らえて、あんたも存在否定してあげます。
譲るぜ。一つの傲慢なる真実で全てを支配などで。
Yes, you are majesty.
Yes.
では少しお相手しましょうか。どうぞお嬢さん。
ならあの赤き真実の死亡宣告は何時の時点でのものだというのですか。それがあんたには特定できるって言うんですか。特定できない以上、事件発覚の時点での死亡宣告であることを否定はできません。
この法廷が改定した時、ラムダデルタ教は宣言しておりますよ。24時を迎えての答え合わせ。死亡宣告は2日目24時、すなわちゲーム終了時点のものです。そしてそれは事件発覚後と呼ばれる2日目朝以降の殺人を否定するものではありません。
Does not deny the possibility that the murder occurred after the morning of the second day. Hi Raven, how you doing?
ではあの時点で犠牲者は生きていたと。首がばっくりと裂かれている。
Oh god, it hurts, please. He cut out my voice box and knocked me out. Yeah. Fashionably late, like extremely fashionably late, but still fashionably late nonetheless.
確かに全ての死体は誰であっても検視を誤ることはないと言っておりますが、死体でない、死体と言っていけないとは言われておりません。
Erica swung her scythe recklessly. But Ronovi blocked everything with elegant gestures made with a shield on one of his hands.
あの時点ではまさか首に傷さえない？だってじゃあどうしてマトラは
He's a skittish person. He probably got scared by something.
橋本がお留守だわ、お嬢ちゃん。すべてのゲーム開始時に後宮金蔵は死んでいる。
A pitch black hole opened beneath Erica's feet and swallowed her up. She could probably see through to the other side of the hole. It was the same thing you'd see if you looked down out of the skylight onto the ceiling of this cathedral.
リア。
Virgilia could already be seen in midair inside the cathedral. Smothered mate? As Erica fell from the heavens, Virgilia was right below her and caught her on the end of a divine spear which sparkled blue.
あなたの推理も顧みるべきではありませんか。金蔵は存在しません。よってあなたの推理の遺体消失が破綻します。
道理です。金蔵以外の人物が遺体を消失させねば破綻します。
Smothered cheese? What?
この程度で。
Virgilia's blue divine spear skewered and pinned Erica in midair. Erica struggled, filled with hatred, but she couldn't get it out easily. Then, all around her, several small, fast things clanged off the walls and enveloped her. Oh, we're back to, yeah. Then 7 people manifested themselves at once.
我らは煉獄の七姉妹、主の仇、思い知れ。
こんな文人風情が。
You're only worth $30.
ジョージの死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。ジェシカの死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。マリアの死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。モーザの死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。ゲンジは死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。フランスは死後、遺体は一切移動されていない。よって遺体発見後に遺体が消失することはありえない。貴様の推理、遺体は金蔵が運び出したは破綻する。だから何だってんですか。金蔵以外でだって死体の消失は説明的。
Lambda, yeah, Lambda is for sure happily munching on popcorn.
私が推理の修正を。この私が探偵が。
My feet hurt, it's noisy here. Nothing too intellectually rape. I want to go home. Erica was probably capable of escaping this, even with Kinzo's existence denied, by making only a small revision to her theory. However, to her, having to revise a theory she had already created was extremely humiliating.
夏日を追い詰めるためだけに策を浪しすぎた。
推理を遊びすぎました。金蔵の死を赤き真実で語れるのは今やあなたの主だけではありません。
これが魔女の闇を遊んだ報いです。それを知りなさい、フルドエリカ。
Of course, even Erica doubted Kinzo's existence from the beginning. However, it had previously been impossible for anyone to deny his existence in that trial. except for Bernkastel and Lambda Delta, who had sided with each other. And because of the willful silence of those two, the truth about Kinzo had truly been unfixed. And yet, to think that Battler had become a witch, a sorcerer, incapable of using red without proof. However, she had her own Inquisitor of Heresy, who could also use red without proof to counter.
Nox 第2条探偵方法に超自然能力の使用を禁ず金蔵の死を赤き真実で示すならばそれを構築する人間の真実証拠の提示を求めます。
許せクソ
超えゆけバトラー我がしかもはねえ
I'm not real, but I'll still give you good noises laughing.
金蔵と識別可能な遺体を提示する。
その遺体が後宮金蔵であると証明することはできますか？どれほど金蔵に酷似した遺体であろうとも当人であることを証明できない限り第三者の身代わり死体であるとの主張が可能です。
help, my theory's being insulted.
それが金蔵の遺体であることを人間の真実で示せますか？本件のみ赤き真実のみでの反論を無効とします。
へえ、赤き真実での反論を無効？そんな思考もあるのね。
確かに第三者の死体が存在しないことはすでに赤で語られてる。しかしそれを赤で語ることを禁じられたらバトラのやつお手上げじゃない。
I will say this, that the only reason Battler's doing better than Natsui is because Natsui is like, no, I can't say anything about poor old father. Whereas Battler's like, yeah, screw him. Yeah, he's not real.
そうだな。この閉ざされた六軒島ではこの死体がじい様のものだと示せる客観的な方法はない。
それこそはこの遺体が替え玉死体である可能性の示唆です。この身元不明遺体が金蔵の死を証明するものにはなり得ません。
チェックメイト、我が推理は揺るぎません。
Dilliner had sealed off the red truth as a mean of proving that Kinzo's corpse had been shown. Even with the power of witches, Battler couldn't argue back.
赤き真実を封じられて
The spooky noise.wab
どうやってその死体を金蔵だと証明するの？無理よ。不可能だわ。
Look at that nervous look on her face.
赤と青ならね。
この死体が後宮金蔵の死体であると保
What,
証
you
す
get a
る。
new color now? You can just make up colors? The butterfly truth! Then, when Dilliner met with Battler's golden flash, she was unable to fully block it with either her red longsword or her blue short sword, and she was blown backwards into empty space. It was a direct hit, without any miscalculation, though she had always seemed as firm as a small giant before now. She was finally blasted away and slammed against the wall, as though she was the slender girl that she appeared to be. What's the gold truth? I need a dictionary definition for that.
見事な黄金の真実、有効です。
黄金の真実。
The golden longsword, which had been drawing red and blue trails before now, finally drew a curve which retained its divine golden color. The truth it showed was neither red nor blue. It was gold, truth.
何それ。ラムダ、こんなのはルールにあるの？
ええ、黄金の真実。
Are you allowed to make up new truths?
黄金の真実はこの世界の領主。
Okay then.
ゲームマスターにしか使えない。なんですって。
黄金の真実、赤き真実とは異なる方法によって紡がれる。神その力は赤き真実と同等です。時に劣るでしょう。しかし時に勝る。
その輝きこそがバトラ君が本当にベアトを理解した証。
示したぜ、この死体がじい様であることを。
はい、黄金の真実受理しました。
So basically, Battler's like, no, 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 I don't care about your Nox's rules. It's true. Just believe me, guys.
エリカ教の推理は修正に応じぬ限り破綻し
I'm
ま
a
す。
game master, I can do whatever I want, peasants.
そんな。
Please scream more. It makes me laugh. Erica cried out in pain. It wasn't the pain of her body being pierced. It was the pain of her own theory being defiled.
なるほど。叙実トリックの寄せ集めかと思ったら、これはいつの間にか。
You have to take my word for it, it's just red truth. Gold truth is more along the lines of a general idea that forms the basis of the game. It's the declaration of the rules. Okay, I gotcha.
とんだ傑作集だわ。
バトラー、それ以上語るは野暮に過ぎるわ。あんたの遺体消失の真実、もはやこれ以上語らずとも完全に理解させてもらったわ。なるほどね。あんたの考えてるそれはこれまでの法廷の全ての赤に矛盾しない。19年前の男の復讐を軸にしたあんたの真実、その全て理解し受理したわ。あんたの真実の成立を宣言する。そんな、どうしてですか、大ラムダテルダ長。
How does it feel to be on the losing side? Loser?
まだ全てを説明して
He doesn't have to.
秀吉の密室や夏日の自室の封印やクローゼットのボタンや、まだまだ他にも反論の手段が用意してあります。
あんたまだバトラーに反応できる気でいるの？
Only Erica, the one who was supposedly so intelligent, couldn't understand. She couldn't understand that Battler had already found the red truth. Or the real truth.
以上によりじい様の不在は証明され、夏日おばさん、じい様をめぐる不名誉は返上される。
You can't have sexual relations with a dead person. Well, actually, you can. Oh, that's weird.
夏日おばさん、純潔にして正式だ。貴様ら好みの下劣な物語は許さない。
バトラ君。
さらにこれまでの死者全員の死亡時間に疑義が生じる以上、夏日おばさん以外全員のアリバイは白紙に戻る。もはや夏日おばさん以外に犯行が不可能であるとの論法は通用しない。
You can't tell me I can't have sexual relations with a dead person. Dolanor, who must have risen to her knees at some point, slowly stood up. The flash from the gold longsword was still buried deep into her chest. Though pain didn't show in her expression, her awkward movements clearly showed how serious the damage she had taken was. Even though she herself knew that the match was long over by now, Dolonor didn't abandon her duty.
されどあなたはいとこ部屋にて5人不可能な遺体を確認されております。それが虚偽であったとおっしゃるのですか？ノックス第7条、探偵が犯人であることを禁ず。
And then he overrules it with gold truth. Well, she is. She's the culprit.
探偵は客観的視点を義務付けられています。あなたの推理はこの義務に違反です。
探偵はフルドエリカだぜ。今回の俺は探偵じゃない。そしてノックス第9条、観測者は自分の判断解釈を主張することが許される。
ノックス第8条、提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。これまでのあなたは探偵でした。そのあなたが今回は探偵でなく試験を交える観測者であったことは示されていたのですか？それがない限りあなたには主観を偽る権利はありません。
俺は今回のゲームで気分の謎の仕掛けを解いた時、じい様を目撃している。すでに赤で示されている通り、
Ah, there you go. I kind of forgot about that actually.
その目撃は不可能だ。俺の視点に客観性がないことはすでに示されている。
それは風雨になびくシートか何かをあなたが誤認しただけの可能性があります。
You don't mistake Kinzo as a sheet. Or sheet as Kinzo, I mean.
誤認は全ての観測者に許された権利です。
第4のゲームにてベアトが示した赤き真実。全ての人物は後宮金蔵を見間違わない。風雨になびくシートを見間違え、それを何であったと誤認して語るのも。しかし
In other words, on this island, all illusions which might lead someone to mistake something for grandfather, including something else pretending to be grandfather, most certainly cannot work. No, you can't mistake small bombs as Kinzo, but I guess you could mistake him as small bombs. All of Natsui Obasan's schemes to make it seem that grandfather existed were hidden in the relatives' blind spots. All of them clever tricks like, he was here just a second ago, or he's in his study alone now. They never tried to make anyone mistake something they saw for grandfather himself. So there are no contradictions. If they had tried to dress one of the servants in grandfather's robe, it would probably have been seen through in an instant. It has been guaranteed that none of the characters in this tale would mistake something for grandfather by sight. If someone still claims to have seen grandfather, it becomes a falsehood. Allowing falsehoods to be contained within the observations is a right granted for everyone. Except for just one person. And that person is the detective.
風雨になびくシートを見間違え、それを何であったと誤認して語るの。ノックス第9条の権利だ。しかし、じい様だと誤認することだけは赤き真実において本ゲームでは許されていない。
金蔵を見たと主張された時点で誤認識ではなく意図的、すなわち観測の客観性が否定されていることの証というわけですか。
In this case, unintentional misrecognition is not permitted by the rules of this game. However, it is possible to intentionally lie about seeing something you never saw. And that is an action not permitted to a detective burdened with the responsibility of an impartial perspective.
暴論を許せ。これで決着だぜ。
いいえ、いいのです。あなたのような男が世界にいてくれたなら どのような傲慢からもか弱き真実を守ってくれたに違いない。もっともらしい一つの真実がか弱き真実たちを駆逐し、唯一の真実であると語る横暴から本当の真実を守ってくれたに違いない。
Battler's golden longsword drew a massive blue arc as though splitting the heavens.
あなたと戦えてよかったです。
よって今回のゲームにおける俺の観測は第7条でなく大吉様を見たと主張したことがその証だ。
The noise which rang out across the cathedral was the sound of Dolinor's longsword clattering to the floor. Simply letting go of that was the same as resigning to the proud Dolinor. Though the blue trail battler drawn was aiming right for the top of Dolinor's head, it stopped a hair's breadth away. If it hadn't, Dolinor would probably have been annihilated without leaving a single scrap of flesh behind.
リザインです。あなたの真実の否定を断念します。
借りは返した。お前の親父に敬意を。実戒は傲慢でも批判でもなかった。
父に敬意を。
Dolinor sat down on the floor and completely abandoned her will to fight. Oh yeah, she's gonna be mad about that one.
情けない、みっともない、間抜けな薄のの殺人人形。あんたは自分の父の名誉に泥を塗ったわ、恥知らず。それでもミステリーのくさび、魔法に屈するの？そんなのミステリーの歴史が許さない。
お前こそ何もミステリーを分かってないな。ミステリーが相手を知的に見下すための狂気にしか見えてないなら、お前に俺は二度とそれを語らせない。お前に相反する真実を宣言する。
Oh yes, an opportunity to hear her scream again, yes.
夏日おばさんは19年前の男、すなわち俺によって内線電話で脅迫されていたんだ。その目的は夏日おばさんを殺人犯に仕立て上げること。これは初めから夏日おばさんに濡れ衣を着せるための復讐劇だ。
違います。夏日が仕組んだ後宮家への復讐劇です。あなたの推理は私と真っ向から相反します。
お前のその青い槍まだ抜けないのか？
You just missed everything, no big deal.
エリカからはまだ金像以外の理由での遺体消失を聞いていないわ。あんたの推理は現在否定中だけれど、
こんな槍など文人どもめ、邪魔だ。
The deeply piercing blue spear and the 7 red stakes tormented her theory. They won't come out. They won't come out.
修正とエリカの推理の誤りを認めるわ。そんな我が主。
Watching Erica's face contort with pain as she struggled to escape from the spear, Bernkastel spoke this with a disgusted expression. Faced with the facts, Bernkastel had acknowledged Erica's loss herself. Erica gazed at her master, who was no longer confident about Erica's own victory, with a mixture of shock and despair.
あんたのプライドなんて知ったことじゃないわ。いつまでその無様な姿を晒す気なの？ 私と同じ青い髪を許された分身がいつまでそこで貼り付けになっているつもり？私自らがやはり降臨しなきゃダメなのかしら。やはり駒なんていらないわ。ああ、めんどくさいめんどくさい七めんどくさい。駒なんていらないわ。捨ててしまおう。ああ、残念無念失望絶望期待外れの的外れ。
And just think, she was singing your praises, I mean, like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago? Something like
早く
that?
しなさいよクズが。お前のそのみっともない推理を修正しろって言ってんでしょ。はい、我が主、修正いたします。我が推理を修正いたします。
As Erica's face twisted in humiliation, and tears streamed from her eyes, she withdrew and revised her own theory in accordance with her master's order. Mumbling quietly, she made various revisions with the Blue Truth, had them acknowledged by Lambda Delta, and finally had the blue spear smashed and was freed. That Blue Truth did indeed explain how the corpses had disappeared. It couldn't conceal its desperation and was a bit of truly shabby reasoning. Stupid face again.
抜けました。我が推理は完璧です。どこが？
Your theory sucks.
無様この上ないわ。でも許してあげる。あんたのその顔と推理がとっても情けなくて笑えるから。
Erica was taunted by her master, who wore an ugly expression. She thrashed about on the floor, crying bitter tears. The wounded Dolinar stepped out before her, as though shielding her, and she spoke to Bernkastel as well as Battler. I think the detective needs another nap.
修正されたエリカ教の真実は有効です。
ああ、そうだ。俺の真実に関係なく、お前の真実も同時に存在する。それがこの世界だ。誰にも否定できないから。いくつでもどんなに相互が矛盾してもそれらの真実は同時に存在できる。ここでは想像の数だけ真実があっていいんだ。それを誰も一方的に否定してはならない。
はい、そうです。エリカ教の真実は私が誰にも否定させません。
ドラノール。
このドラノールある限りその真実をお守りいたします。どんなにみすぼらしくとも私はその真実を嘲笑いはしません。
The words of Dolinar, whom Erica had previously looked down upon, led Erica to once again thrash about on the floor, sobbing.
そして唯一の真実が存在しない限り、すなわち俺の推理もエリカの推理も否定不能であると同時に唯一の真実でもない。否定できないが絶対でもない。あやふやなものは確定しない以上、魔女幻想はまだ存在してる。それを暴くことが許されてるのはエリカでなければ貴様らでもない。この俺だけだ。俺以外にベアトリーチェの魔女幻想は暴かせない。
判決を変更。後ろ宮バトラの示した真実によりエリカの真実の唯一性は失われた。しかしエリカの真実は否定不能。よって2人の真実は並び立つ。 5のゲームの決着を撤回。ゲームはイーブンに戻るわ。そしてゲームマスターは私から黄金の魔術師後宮バトラに移る。後宮バトラ、前へ。あんたを新しいゲームマスターに任命するわ。承諾するわよね。しなさい、新しい無限の魔女。
ああ、
いやー、
俺が新しいゲームマスターだ。第6のゲームは俺が紡ぐ。
Lambda, you don't even know what you're doing now either, do you? You're just doing things. Admittedly, she's like, yeah, Battler, come on, step up.
エリカ、
Let's play some games.
今度こそ俺と決着をつけようじゃねえか。立て。
立ちますとも。この屈辱。
There's gonna be dragons now. This is gonna be a great
与えた
place.
ことを後悔させましょう。我が主、第6のゲームにてもう一度バトラと戦う機会をお与えください。ええ、もちろんよ。チャンスは
あら、すごいわね。
We need more dragons.
あなたがチャンスをあげるなんて。これって奇跡じゃないの？奇跡の魔女ベルンカステル。
エリカ、奇跡的にあなたは命拾いしたわ。第6のゲーム、バトラのゲーム、何としても暴きなさい。忘却の闇に捨てられたくなければね。はい、我が主ドラノール。
無論です。次なるゲームにても全力を尽くします。
もう客人のふりはしません。私とドラノールであなたのゲームを引き裂いてみせます。
ああ、招待してやるぜ。悪いがタイトルはお前のつけたチェックメイト・オブ・ザではなくなる。
Battler's gonna trash your title.
あなたのゲームです。あなたが名付けるといいでしょう。その挑戦、望むところです。私はフルドエリカ、魔女である以前に探偵。あなたがこのゲームの新たな支配者であることを認め、そして宣戦布告します。絶対に暴いてやる。殺してやる。黄金の魔術師後宮バトラー。
ああ、存分にかかってこい、フルドエリカ。
Just watch, Beto. I'll take charge of your game. And in this next game, I'll prove that I completely understand all of your riddles. Her expression was really interesting there. Sick guitar riff. That was exciting. An exciting end of the stream. Oh yeah, I will need a new portrait. So we should have those, yep. We got tips and everything, and we can start the next episode. Not now, obviously, no, dear God, no. But, we can start that next time. If anyone can, not right now, because I'm too tired to do anything with it right now. But if anyone's watching this later or wants to take a look whenever the video is, or the stream's uploaded later, they can link me to a portrait for the next one. For the next thumbnail, that'd be cool. If I could also get links for a bunch of the songs. I know some of them, so I might not need too many, but links for some of the songs for the Final Thoughts video that will be coming out soon, though possibly expect a little bit of a break while I get the streams edited and uploaded. Oh, that's true. I can play the fighting game now. There's a character from episode 7 for reals? Come on. I wanted to play it, at least just to try it. If it's not really bad, if I don't play with a certain character or something, that'll be okay. Oh yeah, let me show those images. Let's take a look. We'll do that real quick. It is possible, just so everyone knows, that I might take a short break between this stream and like the next Umineko video, just, you know, for like a break. I'm not talking like a long time, but I might take like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days off from it before we keep going. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at these pictures. I've gotta go ahead and replace all the dots. Let's see if that worked. Dang it. Did I mess up that link? I don't think I did. Don't play cross, just the first version that has 1 to 4 characters. Okay. Okay, I tried that link, and that didn't work for me. Let me go ahead and post it in the chat, because I'm allowed to do that. No one else can. That link didn't work for me. That was one I had. I got a link to a YouTube video, which if this is really long, I'm not going to do this, but let's see what we got. Monty Python? What does this have to do with it? Does Monty Python have anything to do with this? Don't bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
I'm not going to play any more than that because I don't want to run into any stupid copyright stuff, but that is pretty funny. What about this one? What's this? We're almost done. Hopefully your battery lasts long enough for us to finish up. Okay, does that link work? I think that is. Okay, let's see. I'm up. What did I have to do? I had to play it. Anyway, let me put this up really quick. We're almost done. Don't worry. So I've got that here. Ufotable producer Kondo Hikaru tweeted the following images. The following image, no text, no explanation to what this could be. Image was deleted less than 5 minutes later. Could this be what we're looking for? Add-ons. Good adaptation of Umineko. Is Ufotable. Let's see. Really hoping it isn't a joke. I don't know. I mean, it could just be a piece of concept art. Who knows? And I got one more that was linked in there. Oops, that is not a dot. There we go. I wish there was a way. I honestly, unless it became a huge issue, I wouldn't mind being able to have chat messages, have like links automatically, you know, go through and chat. And even then, that could be somewhat, moderated. Which I guess, you know, not exactly the best thing, but we did find out that, did I do that wrong? Aller.full. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, I can't get that last one to work. Oh, I just saw one more. Let me try that since I couldn't do that. Yep, well, that's the thing. We can send them through Twitch, but I just prefer using YouTube because it's a lot. Well, first off, it's because it's where I put all my other videos. So people who already watch me don't have to make a Twitch account to do it. It's just kind of more convenient. Let's try this picture. This person moved or deleted this image. Very helpful. Okay. Yeah. Alright. That's going to be enough. That's enough. Like I said, we might be taking a break. Nope. Come on. You're killing me. Okay. I'm going to check it real fast. After this, we're done. I will be doing the final thoughts video soon. People could just on the actual video later, so I have something to refer to. If they could link me some of the songs. Okay, that one's pretty funny. I got to zoom in on that though. It's such a small size. It's kind of low resolution too, but that'll work. Let's try that. Sub-region. This is worth it. Just hold on for a second. This is actually pretty funny. There we go. Good heavens, just look at the time. Alright, anyway. Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.